Emmanuel Rivera is hitting the cover off the ball. He should stay in the bigs. And Tomoyuki Sugano is showing that he is a major league ace. Hello, everybody. I'm Jon Leiberman. This is Orioles Digest. I've come to this conclusion in this horrible start for the Orioles. Pitching is no longer the problem. Ignore the overall pitching stats. But I say to you, pitching is no longer the problem. All of this failure at this point, 99% of it rests on the bats, and the bats will tell the tale for the rest of this season. I will explain why. I'm going to give you an update on all the injuries, on everything that's going on. Again, please like, subscribe, do all of the things, because we're going to be here with you all season long. First, why do I have faith in the pitching? Starts with this man, Tomoyuki Sugano. I've said since the outset that if Sugano can be even 50% of what he was overseas, he could be an ace for this club. It took him a couple starts to get used to all of the things, but I say to you, he's the only all-star at this point on the Orioles in my mind. 8 games, 14 earned runs. He's 4-2. He's got a 1 whip and a 2.72 ERA. If I would have told you that on May 11th, Sugano would be 4-2 with a 2.72, you'd say, I'll take it. I'll take it every day, and I'll take it twice on Sundays. And he has now shown it. And while you were sleeping, he had another great outing late Friday night out in Anaheim. That's number one. Kyle Gibson, last night, late in Anaheim again. Orioles lose 5-2. Gibson was not horrible. 4 innings, 5 runs. I know what you're going to say, but just hang on. If Gibson is your 4 or 5 starter and he gives up 5 runs, that should keep you in the game. Even Charlie Morton last night, late out west, had 2 scoreless innings for the Birds and kept the Birds in it. More reason why I believe the pitching is going to be okay is this. Not that. Where is all my stuff? There it is. Trevor Rogers down in AAA yesterday. 4 1/3, an earned run on 3 hits, 4 strikeouts. He threw 49 strikes out of 70 pitches. Trevor Rogers is looking great. And Trevor Rogers should be back up in the bigs very, very, very soon. Okay? So this is an absolute plus. I have some video to show you of Trevor as well. See if we can find it. This is Trevor down at AAA. That nasty, nasty splitter there. Try one more. Let's see if we can see it one more time. I know the quality isn't great, but that's Rhett Rogers down on the farm. Furthermore, today's start, the O's turn to Zachy Eflin, who looked great down at single A as well, and he has fared well against Anaheim in his career as well. These are the reasons that I am no longer concerned with the Orioles pitching. Again, a horrible start. You have to put that behind. The stats, yes, near the bottom of the league and everything, but just think of it. You have Dean Kramer throwing great right now. You have Sugano looking like an ace. You have Eflin coming back. You have Kramer throwing great. You have Gibby being serviceable. You have Rogers on deck to come back. You know, obviously Kittredge is in the mix to come back in the next few weeks. These pitchers should be able to keep you in the ballgame. The reason the Orioles are losing, and I want to praise the great Steve Molesky, who's been around the game a very long time, and he posted this tweet, if I can get it up here. And this really encapsulates it, and this really made me think. Of all the frustration during this season, there's the fact that they are an 800 win percentage team, 12-3, when they simply score 4 or more runs. And they averaged almost 5, as I said in the last show, in 23 and 24. Problem is, they've only scored 4 or more 4 times in the last 18 games. When you look at this, I think this encapsulates everything, and what a perceptive tweet, everything that the Orioles are struggling with right now. And look, you may not have stayed up late for the last couple games on the West Coast, but I'll give you the highlights. Jackson Holliday is looking good. Gunnar Henderson is looking pretty good as well. But outside of those two guys, and Emmanuel Rivera, who I'm going to get to in a second, who needs to stay in the lineup because he's an unsung hero. But outside of those guys, everybody's scuffling. Everybody's scuffling. You know, Mountcastle, Seti. Just the list goes on and on. Kerstad, and even O'Hearn has cooled off dramatically. Adley can't do anything. So, it really does rest on the lineup right now. Here's what I want to propose to you, and I want to hear what you have to say in the comments. Emmanuel Rivera has been outstanding. And the issue is going to be very soon, it's as early as Tuesday, when Ramon Urias gets reinstated from the IL, the Orioles have a decision to make, right? Do they keep Rivera? Do they send him down? Do they send Dylan Carlson down instead? But it's important to look at Emmanuel Rivera's numbers. I'm going to call him up right now if I could. So, Rivera went 2 for 4 with an RBI in Friday night series opener. That makes him 8 for 19 in 6 games. And then he started again last night, 1 for 4. So he's 9 for 23 at the plate this year since he's been up. But look at this. We acquired him last August-ish. From August on last year, he hit .313 with a .948 OPS in 27 games. 8 of his 20 hits went for extra bases, including 4 home runs. Now, the Orioles have a decision to make, right? They optioned Kobe Mayo to make room for Tyler O'Neill. They hung on to Rivera. Obviously, he'd have to go through waivers again and accept another outright if they tried to send him down. But Ramon Urias is going to be reinstated probably Tuesday. So the Orioles could option Dylan Carlson, which I think they should, as a counter move for O'Neill, and keep Emmanuel Rivera in the bigs. They should keep Emmanuel Rivera in the bigs because he's a gamer and he can give the Orioles a lift, just like Sugano has, to help them through this rough spot. Tyler O'Neill update. He is back with the Orioles. That is good news. 1 for 4 so far out west. He was 1 for 3, I believe, on Friday night. Pinch hit on Saturday night. And went 0 for 1. And some more not so good news. Jordan Westburg is delayed even more with coming back to the team as well. It could be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Just again, another setback for the Birds. But I say to you, I think the pitching actually is going to be fine. It's the hitting that has to find its way. I'm Jon Leiberman, Orioles Digest.